here with Kendra. We just had this awesome Stoop Fest, art on the Stoop. I showed you a bunch of little snippets throughout the day, but they have the whole live stream. I should just say, hi, it's Marge from Stoop Stories. They have the whole live stream on Bed Stuy, Stoop's Bed Stuy. Stoop's Bed Stuy. But Kendra, so tell us, so how many years have you been doing this? What is it? And what was different this year?
Sure. So this is our 7th year of doing Stoops. So we normally do an annual Stoop crawl, and we have 10 to 20 artists around on different Stoops around Bed Stuy. But because this year, because of the pandemic and everything, we decided to just have everything located on one Stoop here at 398 Hancock. So we had a rotation of artists instead of having one artist on each Stoop. And Stoops is a platform for artists to share their artistic expressions in unconventional spaces. I live here in Bed Stuy, so we're based in Bed Stuy, but we hope to spread to other Stoops porches or spaces around the world. But it's all about creating community and using arts as a catalyst to do it.
Nice. And how many years is this?
This is year number 7. We took a hiatus last year, but we've been going since 2013, which still seems like a baby, but not. It's like that, kid age where you're like, you think you're grown, but you're still learning. So.
Yeah. And can you just mention a few of the performers that we just watched?
Yeah, so we had Dave Lester, who's a comedian, Malika Ware, who was a dancer. We had Bridges, a Pan-African arts movement that did an amazing immersive theater experience with music, vocals, and spoken word. We had I'm a What, which is like one of my favorite singers in the whole wide world. And then myself, Kendra J. Ross, I danced.
Oh, nice. And just quickly, because this is what we ask everybody, how has COVID been for you? How are you coping with it from the beginning and now, how are you feeling about it now?
It's been really challenging. Wayma, who's part of Bridges, a Pan-African arts movement, actually mentioned that our industry, it's been really hard for the performing arts industry, because our industry pretty much crashed in a week. We can't gather, so performances or shows are just not possible.
Yeah.
So it's been really challenging, and it's been hard to just try and figure out what's next, but to have faith that me as an artist, that I am a creator, and that I and other artists around the world will find a way and we will create a way. And it's actually one of the attendees who came who gave me a little nudge of I think this will be the perfect environment for Stoop to happen. It's outside, you can socially distance, you can have the artists there so that they'll feel safe, so they won't be enclosed. And I was like, you know what? All right, I'm gonna do it. And so we did it.
Oh, that's awesome. And that's so true. That's kind of how Stoop Stories was born as well.
Yeah.
And just a final question about how do you feel about the protests going on right now, the movement and where it is right now?
I feel amazing. I think that it's time, especially as a Black woman in the performing arts industry, there's so much subtle racism that happens, and just through institutional racism, through white organizational culture, and there's this presumed myth that racism doesn't exist, and it does. And folks of color, especially Black women, we know this intimately, and so to have the world calling it out right now is amazing. And I think as somebody who is really cautious about social distancing and making sure that I'm safe and I keep everybody around me safe, I haven't been one that's been in the streets, but I've also found it a perfect opportunity to figure out other ways to participate in the movement, whether through donating, whether through art, whether through organizing, whether through just taking care of myself as a Black woman. So that's been amazing. So I'm in full support of the Black Lives Matter movement. I'm so proud of Bed Stuy. We had one of the first murals, I think the first mural in New York City. On Fulton Street, and so I walk by there with pride every time I go. And so I'm like, yes, and let's keep the conversations going until we really make change. This is a time for change. Everybody's in their house, you can't do anything else. So why not take the time to really look inside and figure out the ways you can come out of this, literally out of your house, out of your body, out of yourself, better.
That's awesome. Oh, it's been wonderful. This whole day was incredible, and thank you for sharing your experience with us.
Thank you, and thank you Stoop Series community for continuing to support us. We partnerships like this in the future.
Of course. Thank you so much.
thank
All right.
you.
Bye, Kendra.